I would like to make a case for why one should use AI to assist their coding education. I would even say accelerate. I think that is a more appropriate word. So go to the lessons, scroll down to why use AI, and have a little read through this article here. So I'm going to summarize it real quick. I'll just instant feedback and debugging, learning by doing, not just reading, and it personalizes things, automates the boring stuff, and you build real world applications sooner. That all seems legitimate, right? So have a read of this, go through it. But for now, what I want to do is go to the board and tell you a story, actually. I want to tell you a story. So back in the day, how you would learn math or code or something like that was you had maybe you had a lecture, right? And then there's a professor in the lecture and he would give some information to all his students. And then the information goes into your brain. That's sort of what happens these days with YouTube videos and stuff like that, right? And then you go off and you're a good student. You do your homework. Right? Let's say HW for homework. You go do your homework. What happens is you usually have a problem set. Dang. That's the problem set there. And you will encounter problems, questions, difficulties, right? And pre-internet, you would have to go to the library. And then you'd have to understand how the books are ordered, and then you have to go find that particular author or that particular problem in the library, and you'd have to do a bunch of research to solve a particular problem here. And that would take lots of time. So I'm going to denote time by these clocks, right? These clocks. We'll make these clocks, right? So this was sort of really far back in the day. Now the internet comes along, right? And what happens is you would have some homework, and you have a problem. So you've got that problem. You don't know how to do it. What happens is you would Google, essentially. You'd Google how to do the problem. And it is a little bit hit and miss because some of the information on Google is not the most accurate, but sometimes it is. And, let's put 2 clocks there to save. You save a bit of time. It takes some time, but it's not as much as the library, right? And then you have innovations like Stack Exchange. So I'm just giving you a history of what people use. So I come from the math field. This is how we sort of went and found solutions if we were stuck on a problem. You go to Stack Exchange and you could prompt some random on the internet about, how do you differentiate, how do you integrate this this thing, or what's vector calculus or something like that. And then you'd sort of hope the answer was right. And then maybe let's assign that 1.5 clocks. So that could be a half a clock there. So it cut out a bit of time, and that's awesome. So every time we go forward in time, we've got the library, we've got Google, then we've got Stack Exchange, and then even I would even put in things like maybe the next thing after that would be like Mathematica and stuff, or Wolfram Alpha if you kind of know about that and you're in the math field. But the next innovation I would definitely have to say AI. Now AI is amazing because it does 2 things very well. It increases the accuracy, right? And it increases the time to solution, right? So essentially what you do is you prompt it and it gives you the answer straight away. Bang. So that's not even a whole clock. That's like a slice of clock. That's how quick it is. So that's one thing it does. The other thing it does is accuracy. It actually so you ask it a direct question. How do Python classes work? How do functions work? You don't have to go scrolling around Google finding sub-problems of the problem you wanted and then stick it together. You verbatim ask it what you want, and AI will directly give you the answer to that question. which is extremely accurate. So now I want to show you how accurate something AI can be. So here, here we've got the lesson, and this is the article. So do read this. This video is just a little addition to this article here, but I just want to give you a real world example. So I am a quantitative trader, and one of the things I do often is build quantitative programs. And one of the first things you do, right, if you're building a trading system, is you build a aggregated book, right? So an aggregated book, just for a history, guys, because if you're interested in all that quant finance, you absolutely have to know what the aggregated book is. So the aggregated book, I keep saying that, but it's very important, is you have a book of orders. You have the mid here, and then on the top you have the ask orders. So these are all the sellers, and then on the bottom you have the buys, which are the bids. We call those the bids and the asks, or the offers and the buys, offers and bids, whatnot. And then those lines there represent the different levels of the bid and ask, right? And what the aggregated book does is it takes a bunch of exchange venues. So we'll denote this by E1, which is, exchange 1, exchange 2, and exchange 3. Cool. So for example, this could be Bybit, this could be OKX, this could be Binance, this could be, who knows, local exchange like BTC Markets here in Australia or something like that, or Coinbase or whatnot, right? And what the aggregated book is these exchanges have their own internal books. So this is a bid, and this is the ask. And then on exchange 2, they have a bid, they have an ask and a bid here, this little box. And the whole idea is you want to take these internal books, these internal exchange books, right? And put them and combine them into your, I'm going to call this the AGG book, the AG book. And so what is the benefit of an AG book? Is you get the best prices from each of these 5 exchanges, right? So if you want to quick and dirty, what you would do is you just copy the exchange book and you'd say, that's my book, I'm going to read off. But the proper way to do it, and to get the good prices so you can, trade at better prices, is to combine the books of these 5 exchanges into an aggregated book, and then you will get better prices. So that is the concept of an aggregated book, which is something I do quite a lot. I build quite a lot, but it is quite meaty and it is quite involved because you're sort of stepping in the realm of HFT stuff, high frequency trading stuff. So I'm just going to ask, how do you build an aggregated book? And this is hard. This is very hard. Now have a look at this, right? This is the Google search I get. How to build an I don't say aggregated, I just say AGG book in Python. And now the first thing Google's is like, okay, hey, wait, did you mean egg book? Like, no, I didn't mean the egg book, which apparently is like some weird spelling error, right? And then we go down, we get, a video here, we get a video here, data aggregation. So not exactly what I want. Pandas, that's different to an ag book. Aggregating orders, okay, that's great. So I get this video here, which is awesome. Learn Python aggregation. So that's not an aggregated book, that's Python aggregation. So it's not exactly what I want. So those are the videos there, and I keep scrolling down. Content aggregator, not exactly what I want. I want a aggregation book. I don't want to build a content aggregator. And then I get a bunch of Medium articles as well, and I get this interesting, documentation, egg files for Python. So not quite what I wanted. So and then what you end up have to doing is like, okay, I would click on this video, I'd learn everything in this video, I'd take notes, and that would take time. Say if you don't have time, let's go straight to AI. So I'm using Claude AI here, and in the next sections, I'll sort of go through the AI tools. I asked it how to build a AGG book in Python, and it gives me exactly what I want. So look at it. It tells you orders, order levels, aggregation orders. It breaks down the components, which I sort of drew in this diagram here, and then it makes it's nuts. It puts all these components into classes, which is the correct coding structure you want. You would think it's just an AI, it just like build the quickest, dirtiest solution you could come up with. But no, it has structure, coding practices, and it's actually quite a lot of code there. You can see, and it also has typing, makes your init function, add orders, remove orders, update orders, is empty. That's probably even more than I would consider when I'm just building a first draft. And also on the side here, it tells you exactly what each of the classes are, what you should be looking at when you're building an ag book, the kinds of exchanges you want to connect to, what it does, you know, some of the advanced features. And then, you know, also this is just the start of the prompt. You can be like, hey, I don't understand what so let's go scroll up. Okay. Automatic sorting, which is a very important concept. You just be like, automatic sorting here, question mark. And then it'll give you an explanation about automatic sorting right there. Cool. And look at that. It teaches you how to automatically, like the functions you need to do in Python to sort things, even a little reversing and stuff like that. That's great. Now, if I Googled that, it'd be like, okay, this is a sorting algorithm. This is how sorting works on the back end of Python. I do not want to know that. I want to solve my problem directly. I just want to know that I can go .in sort, right? Like that's all I want. I just want the problem solved straight away. So that is sort of an example of how I use AI when I am doing these kinds of projects. In the next video, I'm going to just go through a little bit of a rant of how if you're a one-man startup or a one-man team, how it can save you quite a lot of money, even if you're a small business, quite a lot of money if you sort of get a good AI that is possibly, who knows, like $20, $17 a month, how it can save you tons of money outsourcing. We're going to talk about the difference between using AI and outsourcing in the next video.